Welcome to the Sunday Funday Podcast. Your hangovers never sounded so good. I'm your host, Akil Patterson. I'm here with my homie, Graham, who's coming on the show today a little bit to talk about some subjects and topics that, esoteric about. Sometimes I stutter myself. This is the Sunday Funday Podcast. Your hangovers never sounded so good. Let's get to it here. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe at Gokhshtein Media and follow us on YouTube and Twitter at SFD Podcast. So, Graham, appreciate you for coming out today. Appreciate you 100%, homie. It has been, there's something in here? Oh, well. Appreciate you 110%. Welcome to the show. So I guess, we were talking yesterday. You stopped by just to have a little chit chat. We were talking yesterday, and one of the things you started talking about was kind of like anxiety.
Yeah, I would say something like that for sure. It's just a thing that roams for sure.
Well, you were talking about it, and you said something like, it's like sometimes I just don't feel like getting up and doing anything.
That's what I remember. It's like sometimes you feel your heart racing, or sometimes you feel your heart just like in the movement where you just want to lay down and not do anything. Like sometimes I even eat, and like it's something that I've felt a lot when I feel anxiety. I don't know if other feels it like that, but it's just when things get hard to cope with, there's that kind of cave that people crawl into, which I think is called anxiety, just because of certain fear or even like frustration.
I've dealt with some anxiety, but when anxiety hits you, some people say it can feel like a ton of bricks, like it's like on your weight on your chest.
Yeah.
Like, do you ever feel like that?
Yeah, especially like waking up. I would say it's just a weight that doesn't move, and like you just have to like force yourself out of bed, kind of. Just kind of like even when you wake yourself up, you have like that weight that holds you down just because you're so tired. It's like the same thing, but like I would say 10 times heavier.
Now, do you know what causes your anxiety?
Not perfectly. I would say overthinking things maybe, or even underthinking, just being too stressed about what's ahead of me rather than what's like in front of me. I think like those are prime causes.
Now, I think when people talk about stress, I manage stress differently, right? Mm-hmm. Everyone manifests stress in some different way, or they work it out in some different way. But when you're really working through like a stress that's like keeping you impaired, are there any like things that you've started to do, some routines, some activities that you really got into or get into to help you through those stressful times?
Yeah, I mean, at the start, it was just trying to work out. Just because it's something I like to do, and just also trying to create hobbies for myself. So I made like the page on my Instagram just because progress, and I just wanted to put myself out there. I would say, like, it made me feel better about myself and about how I look. I would also say just always try to keep yourself occupied. That's what my dad's told me too. Just because if you're laying down, you're going to start thinking so much more. So like every time I'm like, having a particularly like tough day, that's when I try to hang with my friends the most, try to keep myself occupied and just do whatever I can, especially being busy because, whether you're in college or at work, you should always be working.
I think I had a saying that came out today. It's don't let the moss grow under your feet.
What does that mean?
It means don't let the moss, like the stuff that grows on the side of a tree, if you stay still, it's going to grow on you. Mm-hmm. But if you keep moving and you're always like perpetually like trying to do something different and improve where you're at, that moss don't grow. Oh. And I don't like moss growing underneath my feet. Old people used to say it to me. Yes, that's right. Old heads. Like now I am the old head, but old heads used to say that to me. I'm getting there. Like when you're getting to be an old head, you're an old head. Like, and one of the things that old heads have to do is like, you got to admit. And look, I have a really good friend who told me, shout out to Nate Jackson. He's a USA Wrestling All-American and national champion, good guy. And Nate said, Akil, you know how, and I told him, I was like, man, I'm like the old head in the room. He says, you know how you get to be the old head? I was like, nah. He's like, because you lived long enough. Like a lot of people don't live to be the old head and have a horseshoe hairline and still wearing Nike Tech and sipping fine whiskeys from wherever I can get a sponsor from. I'm just kidding. It'll happen. I'd have no doubt. But when you get to be an old head, it is your job, it is your responsibility to then start giving back. A lot of people don't give back, and I think there's a lot of selfishness in the world. And to be honest, that's what leads to a lot of young people's anxiety, is that there are so many people who are so isolated and insulary, like they don't ever present their gifts to other people. And I think that's something that we all have to do. We have to present our gifts to other folks.
Yeah, because that's a win-win situation. One thing you're knowing you're doing something good, and the other person is receiving something that's beneficial from supportive from a community. You make a fair point, and I would say that at the same time, sometimes selfishness is needed in certain situations. Like if you're being in an interview, or if you're trying to get a certain job role, something like that.
That's not an unselfish moment.
True.
Like that is literally the moment where you're like, I'm worried about getting this job.
Yeah.
But your mentor or the people that are your old heads, they should be able to give you advice on how to get that job.
Yeah.
Or how to put you on. And if you don't know what put you on means, it means how to help you get the job. Hey, my homie's going to put me on, or he's going to help me find a way to get this job. He's going to give me some advice, words of wisdom. He's going to give me a recommendation. He's going to help me get into a role that I would be successful in. That's not selfish, because guess what? You're still working with somebody who is giving you the thumbs up, and that is not going to be selfish for you.
Yeah, that's true. What do you think about just getting into certain jobs in the world? Do you think it's more successful if you're faking it to make it, or if you're actually being yourself?
Do you want to fake it to make it, or be yourself?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, man, what do you think would happen?
Well, I mean, one of them for certain jobs, like my valet job, instead of being myself, I would say I was having to be more formal, having to shave every day and do certain things, which, I mean, makes sense when it comes to high-end hotels sometimes. Yeah. But at the same time, it's something that I didn't like doing, but I still had to do.
So I think that a lot of people's rules about grooming, I mean, you got to be honest. I mean, I show up to work in Nike Tech all the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have to wear a suit and tie, and I own them. But, I show up at Nike Tech all the time. And I tell people, it's that's the industry I'm in.
Yeah.
Being in the cannabis regulatory industry, I show up like effectively my clients will. My clients show up in Nike Tech and Pumas and Adidas and Levi jeans and whatever, Wranglers. They're farmers, they're growers, they're not like, hey, button down guys all the time. Some of them are business professionals. Yeah. But I show up and I represent the community that I'm in. If you are working in a field that wants you to be buttoned down, sometimes you got to button down. But I think you can do I'm myself, but I'm not faking who I am. I think you can still be genuine. Some days you do have to go in there and just put on a freaking smile, though, because, yes, ma'am, I will bring you your car, fucking bitch. Smack you in the face. Don't think you haven't thought that.
Oh, I've thought worse, I think.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
What's the worst thing you thought about a client?
Well, I mean, there are just some clients that would, rush you so fast, even though you're trying to run as fast as possible, moving luggage and then going back, and they don't understand. Those people, I'm I really hope your fucking tires get popped, because I'm tired of your fucking impatience.
Yeah, I think that too.
Yeah.
And I think that even I've never worked in that industry, but I definitely think that all the time about people who I truly dislike.
Yeah. I mean, at the same time, though, it's you shouldn't think that just because then you're working for representing yourself better and trying to prove yourself right in certain situations. And also the tips were running in quite frequently, I would say. The better you were at faking it,
the more money you make.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For tips. Because when you act nice and you're doing everything that they want, I've gotten $50 bills sometimes. It's crazy.
That's awesome. Yeah. And then if you don't, they give you $2.50 and then ask you for, they don't ask you for anything. They don't want you to just be like, you're done.
Yeah.
And then sometimes they won't give you a shift afterwards, right?
Oh, sometimes not. I mean, the job I was offered was full time, almost like 5 days a week, 8 hours. But like each week, I've been getting like days cut off or hours cut off for like no reason, and that was like really frustrating. But at the same time, their turnover rate is crazy.
Really?
Yes, because like
maybe I need to go
while
work.
The job sounds like
hey, I need to buy more Bitcoin. Buy more Bitcoin. That's why I work extra jobs.
Yeah.
I want to buy more Bitcoin. I'm a whore for Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I twerk for Bitcoin if anybody wants to know.
So yeah, just man.
No, that's all right. So
Forgot.
So no, you were telling me that it's okay. That's why I'm here. As a host, it's always my job to keep us all on track. But one of the things that I was asking you and you were telling me about was when they cut your hours for no reason.
Yeah, and then turnover rate. So it's just because like the job seems like you're getting paid well and can be really good for the resume at how nice it is, and like I don't regret it. But like getting cut off work, it was frustrating because so many like the turnovers. I'm rolling back. Like the job will drive people insane sometimes. That's what I was trying to get to.
No, it's okay. I think one thing though is like you have anxiety over, like you just said, they roll back your job. Like you're like, wait a second, is this like me getting fired? And I feel like that's how. Was that the anxiety part for you?
That was a huge anxiety part. I mean, there's been like a couple times I got in trouble. There was like one time of serious trouble. So there's like luggage carts right next to the stand, and this one time like I was way too comfortable like on my first week, and I sit on the cart because my legs were hurting. And then I didn't know this at the time, but there's a guy named Mr. Obi. He owns like the whole, like not just the hotel, but like the whole area, like all the construction, everything. And he walked by, and I didn't notice.
This is downtown Portland?
This is in Eugene.
Okay.
And, like I didn't notice him, so like the next day, my boss Rich was like, "Graham, can you come to the break room real quick?" I'm like, "Crap, he must have heard me like cursing or something, or like hitting a vape. I don't know." But instead, it was a video recording of me sitting on the luggage cart because there's a formal email sent to him about like how like bad I was representing the hotel.
Well, he talked to you though, right?
He did talk to me. I thought he was gonna fire me on the spot because
so that means the owner noticed that you were doing something that I will tell you, to be a very good owner in anything, very good industry of anything, you do have to be somewhat anal retentive. And if your job, all right, and if your industry is hospitality services, everything's about appearance. Yeah. How you look, how you smell. Because a lot of people forgot to wear deodorant during COVID.
You got to wear cologne sometimes.
Yeah. They just get, but how you look, how you smell, how you present yourself, it's all part of an atmosphere that you create. You create an illusion of success or comfort when you're in the hospitality industry. I need to feel like when I show up to a nice hotel, I want somebody there to get ready. I normally don't have them take my bags because I'm not interested in tipping. But I want them to offer, "Sir, can we get your bags?" Yeah. They grab the door for you, open it up. They bring you your car around. You call down 15 minutes early to get your car. And then when you get down there and your car's not there, you're like, "Well, hold on. You guys said I need to call you 15 minutes early." Yeah. Or if they say, "Mr. Patterson, we are running so far behind, but we will get you your car soon." That's cool by me. See, that's that illusion, that aura. But if I walk by and the dude told me 15 minutes to get my car, and one of the people is sitting down, I'm like, "You got all this staff sitting around." I would say that. So while he was displeased, he at least let you know. Yeah. And that's the reason behind he was letting you know. Is like, "Hey, man, not just somebody who noticed you, but the person who, owns the hotel, saw you, it's not a good look, and they just want you to know," because they could just be like, lazy kid, Probably is an old miser, but I'm not gonna say that out loud. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, that's true. Also, just making sure that the customers are just happy every day is like one of the most important things about hospitality. But also trying to look formal. The customers can affect that too, because like that hotel is like almost a non-smoking place. Yeah. And then like there are times where I've been told like go walk up the stairs, and look at them and see which room it is who's smoking, and then they get kicked out immediately, like banned from the hotel.
Really?
Yeah, and then so like
they smoking like cigarettes or something?
Yeah, cigarettes, weed. Like there were like 2 people in robes one time just sitting on the public balcony, and I walked up like, "You guys can't smoke here." And like, "Okay, whatever." I'm like, "I'm not the security here, so I can't do anything." Like I physically cannot move anybody.
Well, the security can't either, technically.
Yeah, no, I don't even get the point.
I always tell people, I'm like, security actually, like, they're making less than the bellhop sometimes.
Oh, yeah, no.
So, like, what incentive do these guys really have to kick anybody out?
I guess it's like sometimes the only option or the second.
I'm not touching anybody, but like, you call police.
You should, calling police is much better. But like, if it's smoking, it's not like a police matter terribly. But like, there's this hotel like 1-2 blocks away from us, across 6th Avenue, and so basically, it's called the Graduate. It's another hotel, but it's like, I would say a little less nicer, but they allow smokers. So all the chain smokers from Inn at the 5th, Gordon, go straight to like the Graduate. It's insane. Like,
I don't know. I tell you what though, did you while you've been working there, have you run across any like pro athletes that come through?
Oh,
you don't have to tell me any names, but have you?
I can say names. There was Lil Jon.
Oh, really?
Lil Jon. Then there's the owner of the USATF.
Okay.
And then there was also Phil Knight, actually.
Okay.
There's a crap ton of famous people, but like you never really see them. They're always hidden. So.
No, I know, because most times they're like, they come in and then they go straight to like their rooms and they're like, yeah, I'm not.
Also, like they don't drive their own cars. So like Phil Knight, like he had security, but he had this huge black Tesla. Like it looked really nice too. And then Lil Jon had like 3 Suburbans carrying him. Like Eugene's not that dangerous, bro.
Well, I don't know, man. I don't know.
That area is really nice.
I'm just saying, like, when you're coming in for something, because Lil Jon was there for what it
was a Maine County event, something like that. It was weird.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's not Lil Jon.
No, it was Lil Jon. Wait. You think it wasn't Lil Jon? I'll show you right now.
That was Lil Jon?
That was Lil Jon.
Okay.
Yeah, you can look it up.
All right. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah. What? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, I smell the doubt.
Huh?
I smell the doubt.
I don't. No, I don't doubt you. Why do you always think somebody's doubting you?
I don't know, man. I just feel like
you got to have more confidence than that, young blood.
A little bit. Like,
yeah.
Piquito.
Like you definitely like. Listen, if you don't get more confidence, somebody's gonna beat you with it. Like you just, there is an aura and a swag that you gotta have. Just in life, man, you gotta be more confident. Like the term "fake it till you make it" is literally about growth. It's about development. Why don't you be that guy?
You're right.
Don't just say, yeah, you're right.
And that's the fucking path too.
Because
say you're right too much, that's like, okay. I've been told that, like, especially when I got coached one time, my coach, it was McCants, he's like, kept on asking me these questions. I was like, okay, yeah. He's like, stop saying that shit.
Yeah.
He's like, yes, sir. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, like, because the more you use these like touch points, like the tag. Like, what is that?
It's nothing.
It's nothing. It's just tag. You did something just to appease somebody else.
And if you actually like knock them.
Yeah, now it's like, yo, I said punch. I didn't say tag, I said punch. That is confidence. Confidence is the punch. It is walking into a room knowing that nobody else can fuck with you. Legit. Nobody's going to mess with you. They're not going to hold you down. You are going to run through this next conversation. Like when you go for a project or a job interview, you stop and you look right into the, I mean, you can practice at home. And I want you to practice at home too. Look right into the camera, look right into the mirror and say, I am the best thing since sliced bread. I used to tell people my name is Akil Patterson and I don't care. I'm going to be the best. And it was true. Like some days I just had to tell myself that. If you wake up and tell yourself you are living your absolute best, you can get through this. And look, everyone's going to have bad days. I think most people fight through depression.
That's a big topic.
It is. But it's a topic in one which we got to identify and say, hey, I might be fighting through depression. But the key word is I'm fighting through depression. I'm not letting it win. I'm fighting through. And even though there are bad days, there are going to be more good days than bad days. What did Tom Hanks say one time? He goes, "This too shall pass."
I think so.
Yeah, he was talking about, he goes, "I wish somebody would have told me this too shall pass."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, good days, this too shall pass. Bad days, this too shall pass. You feeling like shit, this too shall pass. Feeling great, this too shall pass. Sick, this too shall pass. Most things shall pass.
I also think, though, parts of depression can also be with losing stuff, too. Maybe something that affects you and then makes you look back. Like if someone got dumped or if you lost, like, a friend or if you got something like that.
Dumped?
Yeah, dumped. What?
How many times you gotten dumped?
Once. That's about it.
Yeah.
I'm still with my girlfriend right now. But, yeah, just did once. I mean, like, that one was different. It wasn't that long. So, like, it hurt, but, like, I moved on in a couple months.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait until it happens, like, a lot.
Well, I hope it don't. Cross the fingers.
I don't know. I have always had this strong feeling as in order to survive the worst, I've had to prepare for it.
Yes, that is true. Preparation.
Yeah.
But it's also coming at peace compared to preparation, too.
Well, I like taking reps. Accepting. I like reps. I like taking a lot of reps, right? Like some people are, I've been with, like, I have a really good friend. He has been with the same girl since we were in 8th grade, I think. 8th or 9th grade. He was with the same girl. And then when they finally got divorced, he was like, I don't know what to do. He's like, I'm 30. I don't know what to do. And I looked at him too. I was like, yeah, man, you spent dang 20 years with the same person and you're 30 years old. That's a long time. But you know what's even longer? If you sat around and waited for something to happen. Sure. Like, yo, get back out there. And again, he had to figure it out. Now, I've got other friends, they waited to get married. They waited and they dated and, they were looking for that right fit. Yeah. Because the right fit, like, as they say, like, most of the time good fit when it's there. But if you don't know the right fit, it's going to be, like, back and forth. It's like a tennis match, man. You don't want to be in that situation where you're always, like, begging for somebody to be honest with you or begging for them to just, be around you or begging for your companionship. That's the wrong type of love. Yeah.
That's true. It can hurt the longer it lasts. But I would say, for me, it's like I'm not particularly worried because I don't like to worry about that because, like, I'm in love. I don't want to jeopardize it by being so worried about the future, but rather just being accepting. And if it's over, then I say be grateful. Don't hurt you too much.
But be grateful that it happened.
That happened. Yeah. As hard as it is to say that, it is true.
Yeah. You know why you're grateful it happened?
If it happened, well, because learning lessons.
Exactly. You learned a lesson. You're like, hey, this didn't work out, but it's okay. But I also would say, don't become somebody's stepping stone. Don't put your head down and just accept everything as, oh, this is the gospel according to Jill, Jane, Josh, or Jeremiah, or Jaquita, Tanita. I don't know. I'm making up names now. Like, just don't be a stepping stone, too. Where do you go? Don't be a crash dummy. You remember crash dummies?
They used to be beaten just in any tests, like car crash.
Yeah. Like they're called, that's why you call people crash dummies. Like,
damage control.
Yeah, don't be a crash dummy. Don't get hit. Don't fall into the wall. And at some point, it would be really good. It'd be really nice if you are able to have those difficult conversations without it being difficult. Like transparent, open, honest communication. And that's most bad relationships. It's just nobody's having good communication.
Yeah, communication is key. I mean, it's one thing I've learned from is like if you're not putting in detail, if you're not showing trust, if you're not like being consistent, or not consistent, but just being brutally honest, then that can cause many things, including trust. And just trust, I think, is one of the top 3 elements in just keeping a relationship alive.
What are the other 2?
Other 2, I would say loyalty and strength.
Trust, loyalty, and strength. Not bad.
Because strength is just because, there's going to be hard times. I've had hard times, and you think you just want to give up, but at the same time, you don't want to. You're still that much in love that no matter what happens, you're going to end dying trying. So,
I will tell you there's a difference between being in love and loving someone. Okay.
There is.
All right.
There's like friends and family compared to lovers. Like family.
No, it's different.
Well,
so there's in love and then there's loving someone. Like, so if you love someone, right, there's unconditional love. Like people like, I'm pretty sure if you know someone that's been married for over like 10, 15 years, they're no longer in love with that person, but they love their wife.
Maybe, but
most of them love their wife or their significant other because it's like, hey, through the ups and downs, because there's good times and bad, they still love the person because they love who the person is and who they're committed to. When you are simply in love with somebody, that's normally with a degree of lust. And I've said this 100 times. Yeah. It's because you're like, man, I love this girl. I'm just so enamored. Like, oh, it's okay, babe. You can play baseball with other, with my whole football team. And you're like, what? Yeah. You gonna play baseball with the whole football team?
And yeah, I would say love.
Yeah.
I love her a lot.
That's why I said you can love someone
but also
and not, and also be in love.
That's like the thing with college relationships too, is there's a lot of volatility in those two phases.
Yeah.
I mean, like I've seen, especially in fraternities, sororities, even just normal friend groups. Like I have friends that have like gone from dorm to dorm room, and like, I'm like, damn, like how are people doing this right now?
Well, because men are whores.
I know.
Actually, but I also think, I mean, you guys even said like you're like women have not been the same on college campuses.
Not the same. I don't know. I mean, from high school to college, it kind of feels the same. I would say it's a lot more energetic, though. I would say people are also a lot more confident because now you're in a place filled with thousands of new people compared to like that couple hundred that are always going to remember you.
Yeah. No, I went to school with about 2,000, 4,000 kids or something. Total? I don't know. Well, it was pretty big. About the same. Pretty big. I think it's and it was like, there's about 1,000 students that graduate, and after you do it, you're like, okay. Or, even in college, I went to University of Maryland, and there was 37,000 students on campus. Can't remember this time because I'm too old. But there was a lot of students on campus, and at the end of the day, you were just like, ooh. You running out of water?
Yeah, I did run out of water. I mean, I'm fine, though.
We're running out of water, and we're almost running out of time for that 30-minute marker because I normally like to take our conversations, keep them at 30 minutes. Folks, remember, this is the Sunday Funday podcast. Your hangovers never sounded so good. Join us next time with another episode. It could be somebody else. It could be my pool. Who knows? But this is the Sunday Funday podcast. Your hangovers never sounded so good. Make sure you like us, follow us, and subscribe. Click down below. Check us out on Spotify, Instagram, at SFD. Graham, do you have any handles you want to tell anybody?
Handles, I would say follow Graham Joshi 55. That is my main account.
That's your Graham Joshi 55. 55.
Favorite number twice.
That's crazy. All right. Peace.